Okay, we've got to talk about the UFO revolution. Jeremy Corbell's new docu-series showing on Tubi right now. It's a TMZ series, and I was very excited about it, and I know some of you guys were as well, so let's discuss. Get in here, this is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Oh, and just so you know, as I make this video, only 2 episodes are available. I think there's going to be a third one that might come out later today or tomorrow. So I may have to update this when that gets released. But as of now, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. So let's discuss that 2 hours of content. And just to start with, we are taken through the David Grush story. And, it's kind of a primer on David Grush, and it talks about some of the, Lou Elizondo and A-Tip stuff. And it's just kind of a general primer on where we are today in mainstream ufology. It's very mainstream. It doesn't, get into the origins of A-Tip, Skinwalker Ranch and, all the weird stuff. It doesn't go there. This is for a mainstream audience, trying to appeal to people who are interested in UFOs, but may not know exactly what the current state of ufology is and where we are right now with that. And I appreciate that. We need to reach the mainstream. This needs to disseminate to the masses and get out there. And, when I first started investigating UFOs, I didn't look at Skinwalker Ranch either. I had to satisfy myself that this was a legitimate phenomenon and, study A-Tip and everything that was available at the time. And, of course, everything ultimately led back to Skinwalker Ranch because that's where it got started, A-Tip and OSAP. And that opened me up to other avenues, the paranormal, the metaphysical aspects of it, and that's when I began researching that in connection to the stunning UFOs. So so you have to get there in your own time, I guess. But first, you need the nuts and bolts stuff, and that's what this documentary is talking about in the opening. Now, then we get into the the sales pitch for Jeremy Corbell. Where he just talks about himself a lot, and I can't. Okay, this was wanting to play. I'm trying to screen grab stuff. Yeah. Let me just go to my favorite part of the docu series when they are in Austin. Yeah, they're going to Guero's. I love it. They're in town for the Joe Rogan show, and they are having lunch at Guero's, and I love it. I'm an Austin guy. I've lived most of my life in Austin, although I live a couple of hours away from Austin at the moment. But I miss Austin. It's got some great food, and Guero's is one of the better Mexican restaurants in Austin. I highly recommend it if you go to Austin. I'm more of a Chuy's and Papacitos guy. But Guero's is great. And they also showcase Torchy's, or they're walking by Torchy's. Great tacos, actually founded by one of the founders of Chuy's. So really awesome tacos if you're in the Austin neighborhood. Okay, I'm getting back to UFOs. Jeremy does the sales pitch for himself. It's hilarious. Just how he got started and, how, important he is and all that kind of stuff. And hey, I love Jeremy. I don't want to rag on Jeremy too much. But that was probably unnecessary to include in this docu-series. He is a brilliant filmmaker. His documentaries on Skinwalker Ranch and Bob Lazar, just brilliant filmmaking, really. If you haven't seen those, go check those out. Those are excellent movies, very informative, but just very stylish and just really well done filmmaking. I mean, the Mickey Rourke narration alone on the Bob Lazar doc, great stuff. So he's a very talented filmmaker and an investigator, and I'm glad to have him as part of ufology. I know not all of you guys are fans of Jeremy, and he can definitely rub some people the wrong way. But if nothing else, he has gotten George Knapp back into the spotlight in a big way. And George totally deserves to be. Without George, we wouldn't be here. There's a long series of people that were integral to getting us where we are today with UFO disclosure. And George Knapp is one of those people. George, Lou, now Dave, James Lukatsky, various people are integral. Leslie Kane, all those guys. So, Jeremy is an important element in modern UFO disclosure. And I really don't want to rag on him too much. He's put out some great videos, gotten out some great videos, UFOs, videos that have been leaked to him or given to him. And, but this was a totally unnecessary segment of this docu-series, focusing on him and his origin story and all that sort of stuff, and really building him up. And I guess he's trying to let the mainstream crowd know who he is, and I appreciate that. I understand where that sentiment may have been coming from, but I don't think it was a necessary inclusion in this docu-series. So, just my 2 cents on that. I did want to get into the squid video, because there's some interesting new information coming out about the squid. Where is that squid video? Okay, this is it. All right. This is the important part. So, a lot of people think the squid UFO is a smudge on the lens or anything. Well, actually, it was filmed not just with that one camera and not just in that one location. It was actually filmed going over the water. And we only have a few seconds of that. But yeah, it is seemingly the same object. It's kind of hard to tell for sure, but it has roughly the same shape. And it's purported to be the same object. So it's not a smudge on the lens, guys. It's a real object, and so that's good stuff. Good stuff. So we can debunk the debunk on that one. This was a genuine UFO, and again, we're lucky that Jeremy is able to get this out there. So, kudos to Jeremy, and kudos to the people that are feeding him this information and getting this information to us through Jeremy. All right, so moving on to part 2, we have the truth seekers. And let's see, so a lot of it is talking about the reprisals faced by the whistleblowers like David Grush. And so that's good. I mean, we need to know about the reprisals. Then, sadly and unfortunately, it moves on to a debunking of the Nazca mummies, or not a debunking, but just kind of ridiculing the Nazca mummies. And I mean, they don't even do an actual debunking. They have one guy that says, the standard line about it being assembled from, cobbled together from body parts, human body parts that were, grave robbed. They don't talk about the science that has been implemented on studying these guys. Although they do get Gary Nolan up to say he did look at the science that had been conducted on him a couple of years ago. And he thought they were doing it wrong. He says they had the best intentions, but they were doing it wrong. And it seems like we need some better science behind this, and that's kind of what I'm getting from my wife as well, who looked at the DNA and was very intrigued by it, and thinks it's genuine, but they're not using the methods they should be using. And I have a little more to say about that in a video coming up. So I love the Nazca mummies. I think the evidence is extremely solid for these being genuine beings. We have CAT scans performed live by the director of the hospital, etc., etc. The Nazca beings seem to be authentic and genuine. They were biological creatures at one point. So it's really frustrating to have this debunking attitude taken by this docu-series, and that was very frustrating. You would hope that they would be a little more open-minded. If they didn't want to cover the topic, they didn't have to cover the topic. They didn't have to ridicule the topic, closing the mainstream audience's mind to the possibility that these are genuine biological specimens. This is disclosure. This is proof. This is evidence of non-human involvement on Earth. So, these need to be rigorously studied, and we need to get the mainstream scientific community on board, and we need to at least set the stage for the mainstream public to accept the findings of those scientists. And we're not going to get there with this ridiculing, eye-rolling attitude that is unfortunately displayed in this part 2 of this docu-series. So that was really, really unfortunate, and I think that Jeremy could have done a lot better than this. Now, again, they are trying to reach the mainstream audience. And, there is an element, as I understand, of British politics called de-demonization, where they try to weed out the fringier elements in a party before they run for office, before the campaign, so they don't get smeared by those people, detractors of that fringe element. And so I think that's what this is. This is de-demonization of the UFO topic. They are separating the mainstream stuff that they are mainly talking about, the David Grush material, from what could be seen as the fringy stuff, like the Nazca mummies. Now, to me, this isn't fringy at all. We've got frickin' bodies, guys. We've got frickin' bodies that appear to be real, genuine, authentic specimens. We find these beings in the artwork of the Nazca people. There's even one depicting one of these beings laying an egg. So, yeah, I mean, they seem to be real. My mind is open. If compelling evidence can be, provided to debunk them, then okay. My heart's going to be broken if that happens, but I'm willing to accept it. But based on everything I've seen, these seem to be genuine biological specimens. We do need the mainstream scientific community to study them, though. We need really good labs. We need really good tests. We need the best equipment, the best scientific protocols. We need all the stuff. And we're not going to get mainstream science to touch these things if mainstream documentaries like this are ridiculing them. So I think that was really unfortunate. I understand the intention was to de-demonize, but that is a really unfortunate tack to take on this. But moving on from that, they talk about abductions, and they talk about other stuff. They talk about Oumuamua, Avi Loeb and the asteroid Oumuamua. And hey, I get it. I mean, it's a weird object that may very well be an anomalous object that was moving anomalously. But we've got anomalous objects moving anomalously here on Earth, and we need to be studying those and what they are doing here on Earth, and what their interaction is with humanity. And so I'm glad they did touch on abductions. Kudos to them for that. That could be seen as a fringy topic, but they did go there. So, hats off. But yeah, so my take on this docu-series so far, the UFO revolution, is very mixed. There's some good stuff in there. Getting the word out about David Grush and, kind of where we are now. And even talking about abductions and the reprisals of whistleblowers. But then there's also kind of a lot of self-aggrandizing by Jeremy Corbell and his really unfortunate take on the Nazca mummies. I mean, at least keep an open mind, guys. I mean, Gary Nolan in the brief segment where he was talking about the Nazca mummies, his mind actually seemed to be open. He says, "Well, I took a look at the science, and they were doing it wrong, but they had the best intentions." And he wasn't poo-pooing the mummies. He wasn't. So I take that as an encouraging sign, and I hope that means his mind is open to studying them, or getting one of his buddies to study them if he doesn't want to do it himself. We need top quality research done on these beings, because this is disclosure. So frustrating. But okay, those are my brief takeaways about the first 2 episodes of the UFO Revolution on TMZ, also on Tubi, done by Jeremy Corbell. Let me know what you guys thought if you've checked out those 2 episodes in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. Facebook and Twitter links are below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please grab a t-shirt, merch store below, or become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars. I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. So, there's plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.